going live. Hey guys, it's me, and we are puzzling it out. I think I'm on the Living Out Loud, though, not the Louise Cutler studio. But I think we'll stay on. Oh, we don't want that. We'll stay on the Living Out Loud. I know. I just switched us over and showing things that I don't want to show. Let's go back to this one because I'm going to show you guys the puzzle, right? All right, so I'm going to put you right here so you guys can see. And I know, right? Okay, so we were doing a puzzle, and let's go. I'm going to pull it up some. So we're back doing the puzzle, and I wanted to share some of the things that I have learned while doing a puzzle, right? I'm going to share things that I have learned doing a puzzle. And I know, I was like, I'm going to do this puzzle with you. Look at this. It's crazy. 1,000 pieces. 1,000 pieces. So, and you see all the mess behind me? It's Christmas mess. The whole living room is covered in Christmas mess. And I'm okay with that. I'm not one of those people where my house has to be perfect. No. It is Christmas. We have Christmas still up everywhere. Like, these are all from Christmas presents and shoes. And if you saw my house, it's an absolute wreck. The living room is now an absolute wreck, and that's okay. So we were doing a puzzle together, right? No. Okay. There are certain things I learned about doing a puzzle. So this is my first time ever doing a puzzle. And granted, it is a magnificent puzzle. I love it. I'm going to show you a picture of it. It's not finished. And I know I said, hey, we're going to do this puzzle together. And when I poured it out on the table, I was like, I'm going to put this back. This is insane. 1,000 pieces. And you're talking about pieces this big. And so I'll be honest, when I poured it out on the table, I thought, I'm going to put this back. I'm going to put this back in the bag, and I'm going to take it back to the store. I'm going to take this back to the store because there's just no way I'm going to do this. It's too much stuff. I've never done a puzzle before, and trust me, 1,000 pieces is not where you start if you've never done a puzzle before. Start with like the kitty puzzles. Like, I had kitty puzzles. I loved kitty puzzles because the kitty puzzles were fun. It was probably like 18 pieces, and they were like this big. Okay, they were like this big. Those are fantastic puzzles because you can sit on the floor and finish them in a sitting. These, it's like, oh my gosh, talking about being adventurous here. It's like I was definitely grabbing for the straw. So when I sat down and I poured out all the puzzle pieces, and I was like, we're going to do a puzzle together. There's a few things I learned while doing this puzzle, because you can glean so much knowledge out of doing a puzzle. And this is like life knowledge, not just any knowledge. This is like life experience knowledge that you can glean from doing a puzzle. One of the things I had talked about when I first started doing it is separating things into their own spaces, because in order to do a puzzle, it's best to like start off by separating the color piles and things like that. And that part was cool. I got all of that done. But then it's like tackling, where do you start with the puzzle? Where do you start? Where do the little pieces start? Because I'm going to show you this puzzle. This puzzle was, okay, so here's the puzzle. It's not finished, but you can see, look how beautiful that is. And of course, I picked the puzzle that had just a variety of things because I just love variety. So this is what the puzzle looked like right now on the table. And you can see I'm almost done. It's just like right here in this little section. I just have one section, and trust me, This section is a monster because it's all this greenery. And that's been the biggest thing about this puzzle is how much earthy colors and all those kind of things has been. And so I'm going to share with you today life lessons that I've learned doing this puzzle and what I've learned. One of the things that I learned doing this puzzle is I am not a puzzle person. I am not a puzzle person. This is a lot to tackle. I mean, this is like a life commitment here. This is a life commitment. So if you're going to do a puzzle, it's a life commitment. Don't just go in there and be like, willy-nilly. I was willy-nilly. Don't willy-nilly this. If you're going to do a 1,000-piece puzzle, you are committed. This is like a relationship here. A 1,000-piece puzzle is a commitment. So know that. So I started this puzzle, and like I said, when I poured it out, I was going to put it back in the box. But sometimes in life, you can't put it back in the box. You can't just pour things out and put things back in the box. Like, that's why we're always cautious of the things that we say to people, minding our tongues, being careful of what we speak, because just like I poured this out there, I couldn't put it back in the box. It was not going back in the box. So be mindful of that. That's a lesson learned, Another life lesson that I've learned here, I wrote them down because last night I'm like, I'm going to share all of the things I've learned from putting this puzzle together. So I'm going to share with you guys. I was so committed to this that I wrote them down. The things that I have learned. I mean, literally, look at how much I don't know if you can see how much I've written on here. Well, it's just a white screen. So never mind. I'm going to tell you. All right, so a few things I have learned about doing a puzzle. One, I'm not a puzzle person. So if you're not a puzzle person, do not go and buy a 1,000-piece puzzle and pour it on your living room table and think that you're going to get it done in minutes. It's not going to happen. Their pieces are too little. All right, so here's one of the things. I'm not a puzzle person. When I first poured it out on the table, I wanted to put it all back in the box and return it. I said that earlier. The other thing I learned, I wanted to put it all back in the box. However, I'm also not a quitter. So with that being said, I start working on the puzzle. I start working on it, but it was painful. Other thing, once it's open, I was committed. And once you open it, you're committed to finishing it. I don't care if it's a year later. Finish it. I am one of those people, finish things. Finish. So I was committed to this. So I was going to finish it. And I'm going to finish it because you can see there's a big chunk of it that is not finished yet. So what was the other thing? No matter how long it takes, 1,000 pieces is a lot. Trust me, it's a lot. Put it somewhere, and this was the best thing I had done. I put it somewhere where it was in the traffic of all of the family. So that means that I wasn't going to work on it by myself. So several other people worked on it too, because people, even if they found one piece, they will put it in that spot. So if you're going to do a puzzle, especially a 1,000-piece puzzle, put it somewhere where other people can also work on it, because that makes it fun too, to find things and see that somebody else like, oh, I've been looking all over for that one, and somebody else found it. So this was great, having it right here on the coffee table, because other people joined in and start putting things. I'm not saying like it was a whole crowd of people. It was like me and my husband, my son, that kind of thing, but joined in. I mean, on Christmas, my husband and my son, they were just like putting puzzle pieces everywhere. I was like, thank you, God. Thank you. They were just putting puzzle pieces everywhere. And then the other thing is, when we were watching movies right here, we would sit here and put puzzle pieces together. And so it was great having it in such a convenient location that's what was really cool about it. I think my mouse might have disconnected because I'm trying to, somebody sent me something. Somebody's saying something and my mouse, I'm sorry, my mouse disconnected. Hold on, I'm going to come up and push the button. My mouse disconnected. Somebody said something. All right, I'm going to leave it on comments so I can see your comments. So what you what do you still let's see, what do you still do with them? What do I do? I don't know. And that's just it. It's like, do you glue them together or what? Like some people glue them together. But me, it's gonna sit here on the table and I'm actually thinking, and once I finish, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about doing with this. So let me get through the things I've learned while doing this puzzle. So hold on. And then I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking about doing with the puzzle. Cause I feel like I feel like doing this puzzle, I truly deserve to be able to do something with it. It's like, I have to do something with it because I've invested so much of my life into it. So one of the other things I've learned is putting it somewhere where other people can actually help put things on it. If you put it somewhere, they can help. But be careful where you put it, because trust me, if you put it on a coffee table, you're definitely going to be picking up pieces off the floor, because every now and then people put their feet up and all that kind of stuff. So I've lost a couple of pieces, but I found them on the floor. So just be mindful. I like having it right here on the coffee table, but I have had to find a couple of pieces that have been dropped on the floor here and there. But it's all that being said, I've gotten quite a bit of this puzzle together. Now, here are some life lessons that I feel that I've learned. Life lessons. I wrote those down too, because I feel like life lessons are important. Just because a piece fits in a spot doesn't necessarily mean that that is where it belongs. So in life, just because you feel like, oh, well, you know what, this is a good spot, this fits, doesn't necessarily, or you know what, I'm comfortable here, it doesn't mean that that's where you belong in life. Trust me, just because something is comfortable or it feels like it fit, it doesn't necessarily mean that's where you belong and that's what you're supposed to be doing. So sometimes we get into jobs and it's like, well, you know, I can do this job. But yeah, but is that the job you're really supposed to be in? Is that where you're going to be happy? Is that what you're going to enjoy in life? Think about it. Think about it. So sometimes, so think about those things. So just because something fits doesn't necessarily mean that that's where it's supposed to go. And I found that out because lots of these pieces fit in places, but they weren't in the right spot. And so I had to move several of them. Another thing, if it doesn't fit, don't force it. Don't go with that song. If it doesn't fit, don't force it, baby. No, if it doesn't fit, don't try to make it fit. Don't try to force it. If something's not working out in your life, don't try to make it work. Relationships and otherwise, jobs. If it doesn't fit, if it's not working, let that bad fella go, move on, and find the proper fit. Find the proper fit. Find the proper thing that goes in that space. Don't go around trying to force it. Trust me, in this puzzle, we've had several pieces that fit and did not fit, and we had to move along. And then we found the proper piece and it fit perfectly without any struggle. Trust me, if you try to force the fit, it's going to buckle up. It's going to look weird. So don't go there. Don't try to force the fit. Another thing that I've learned doing a puzzle, it's amazing the things that you can learn doing a puzzle. It is, you have to look and work for what you want. You have to look for those pieces and you have to work hard. It's not like these pieces are jumping out at you. You have to take your time. You have to look for the pieces. And that's how it works in life. If there's something you want to achieve, some goal that you have to look and you have to work at it. And you have to make that thing. You can't just give up. That's one of the things that doing this puzzle, I could have easily given up and put it back in the box. But no, I didn't. I didn't give up and I didn't put it back in the box. Why? Because once I put it on this table, I was committed to it. And once you have a goal and once you have something set in your mind that you want to do, be committed to it. Start looking around. I always tell people, invest in your craft. Don't think just if it's like, well, Louise, nobody's buying this from me, nobody's doing that, nobody's doing that. Well, you know what? You do it. You invest in your own craft. We have to invest in the things that we want to do. So when you find out what you want to do in life, invest in it and put in the work. Put the work in. So that's another thing I learned doing this puzzle. I'm telling you, there was so many life lessons in this puzzle. The other thing, there is order to the chaos. You just have to look for it. When I poured these puzzle pieces onto the table, it was an absolute mess. Some of them were backwards, upside down, turned all over the place. But I was able to create order in the chaos. You could tell I was able to create order in the chaos. I'm trying to see if my mouse wants to work, but I don't think it wants to work. It was working earlier. And so I'm going to have to get up and push the button because I want you guys to see the order that came out of all of the chaos. Hold on. I'm going to come up again. So I wanted you guys to see all the order that came out of the chaos. So if you go back to the original one, look how much order. Now, over here, you still have a little bit of chaos because it's not done. It's not finished. If you look at this one, there's still pieces everywhere. But you can see how there's order in the chaos. So that's one of the things you want to look at is that you can create order in chaos. So if you are having all of this chaos in your life, and this is a big life lesson, especially during this time of year, especially during, the whole COVID thing, it may seem like chaos, but you can go in your room or in your seat and you can create peace, harmony, and order in the chaos. You don't have to join in the chaos. You can orchestrate it and put things in their place and rearrange things so that you don't necessarily have to be a part of the chaos. You can pull yourself out of that chaos and create order for yourself. Now, mind you, you may not be able to fix everything, but the one thing that you can fix and focus on is yourself. So I would say you may not know how to fix everybody's chaos, but you could definitely pull yourself back and deal with what's going on in your life, calm yourself down, and create order in your life and pull yourself out of that chaos. That's one of the things that I've learned is that this was chaotic when I first put it on the table. But as you can see, when I showed you the picture, there's so much order because within that, and it's like, you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Just because it looks chaotic doesn't mean that there's not something beautiful in it. This is absolutely beautiful. And I could easily been like, shoot, throw it away. I don't want to deal with it. And then I would have never been able to see how beautiful this puzzle is. I mean, yeah, granted, I had the picture, but to see it as a puzzle is even better than seeing it in the picture that they give you. So always remember, there is order in the chaos. Now, let's see, what's the other thing that we learned? Oh, here's one. Take your time. Puzzles are not sprints. They are marathon. 1,000-piece puzzle is not a sprint. It is a marathon. Take your time. Be patient. Same thing in life. We're always in a rush, and especially today because we have the microwave and we have our cell phones and everything is instantaneous. But you know what? Puzzles and life are not. Things do not always happen just because we want them to happen, and they don't always happen instantly. So take your time. Puzzles teach you patience. So if you want to build some patience, do 1,000-piece puzzle. Trust me, you will learn patience. So puzzles help you build patience. That's a great one. Then what's another one? So remember, it's not a sprint. It is, okay, so a puzzle is not a sprint. They can bring people together. Puzzles bring people together. So one of the things that I've learned in doing this puzzle is it's actually brought my family some together. Like my husband and I would literally sit here in the evening while watching a movie doing this puzzle together. And it was fun watching each other, looking at each other, putting things places. Oh, I'm missing this and I'm missing that. Oh, look for this, look for that. It literally has created this relationship doing a puzzle. So if you want to create a relationship with your family, do a puzzle. Do a puzzle. If your family's like, well, we don't do anything, pour out a puzzle on the table. I'm not saying tackle 1,000 pieces, but they have some 350, they have some 500s, they have so many. Tackle a puzzle with your family, put it on a table where everybody can see it, and then work on it some nights. You don't have to work on it all the time. You might work on it with your husband, your kid might work on it with you, somebody might work on it together, but put it out there. It helps to create relationship. Like I said, my son, our oldest son, was here working on it with Richard during Christmas, and they had a great time, and they were figuring it all out together. That was the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. So puzzles help to create relationships. Oh, and here it is. Everything does not always look like you think. Everything does not look like you think. Sometimes you might look at something and say, one puzzle, and it's like, oh, okay, we were looking forever for a man's face on this puzzle, and we couldn't find it. We couldn't see it. The reason we couldn't see it is because we had an idea of what it looked like in our head, but that wasn't what it looked like. When we finally found it, we're like, we would have never found that. This looks nothing like we thought. So don't go in thinking you know everything, and don't go in with your own preconceived notions of what things are supposed to look like. And that's something to take in life. Don't always go in with these preconceived notions. Let things happen organically. Let them happen naturally. And then be open to new and fresh ideas. Be open to find things that you would not normally have looked for. And that's how the puzzle was. We were finding things because that's what we weren't looking for, those particular things. We were looking for something else. And then all of a sudden we stumble on it. It's like, that's it. That's the piece. So definitely have yourself open. When you do puzzles, open up your mind to be able to see things for what they are in the puzzle, not for what you think they're supposed to see, because that will take you even longer. I remember I was looking for the back side of a little boy because I thought, oh, it's supposed to be this color and it's supposed to look like that. It was none of that. And when I found it, it went perfectly together. And then I saw the little boy's backside, and then I saw the color. But when you're working with these size pieces, look at that. Be mindful. It's not always going to look like what you think. It's not always. The other thing, what was that? You may have to try different angles. Okay. You might have to try different things in your life for certain things to work. So don't give up so easily. So when we're doing these puzzles, and you can see how many different sides, so we had to turn this puzzle from one side to the next side to make it work, because this side may not work, but this side may work. And that's the same thing in life. Don't give up so easily. Don't throw in the towel. Go about and try another way. If it's something you really want to do, try something new. Everybody's going to fail. Everybody's going to make mistakes, but that doesn't mean you just throw out the baby with the bathwater. That doesn't mean you give up. That doesn't mean you stop, and it doesn't mean you quit. It just means you take it and try it in another direction, like the puzzle. You just take it and see, it's like, oh, it doesn't fit that way. So then turn it another way, and then it will fit. So that's what you do. Don't just go around giving up. That's another thing I learned doing these puzzles. I'm telling you, doing puzzles has been absolutely amazing. Okay, so here, qualities that I've learned from the puzzles. I have learned patience. Okay, anybody that needs patience, do a puzzle. I have learned focus. I've had to focus on these pieces and look and take my time to see what I was doing. I've learned determination. I've been determined. I am determined to finish this puzzle. Determination. I've learned determination during this puzzle. Perseverance. Perseverance. What did I say? Perseverance. Perseverance. I have learned perseverance doing a puzzle. This puzzle, perseverance. I refuse to give up. Long suffering also have been there. Long suffering. I have suffered long. I have suffered long, but I have so enjoyed doing this puzzle because, like I said, I've been doing it with family and all of those kind of things. The other things I've learned, other thing I've learned is tolerance. I have tolerated this puzzle and tolerated pieces being tossed on the ground. And so being able to tolerate, and that means that I didn't throw it back. I didn't throw it out. I understood that the puzzle wasn't against me. This puzzle is not against me. It wasn't fighting against me. I was fighting against it. And so I had to learn how to calm myself down. And I had to learn how to be patient in a time where patience is not the thing. It's not the big deal these days. But I had to learn to be patient with this puzzle and put it together. And so that's why I'm able to get it almost finished. And so I'll be working on it some more this evening. And hopefully by, I don't know, I'm not going to say I'll have it done by tomorrow or the next day. But when I'm done with it, I will definitely show you guys the finished puzzle. And hopefully I'll have all the pieces because, like I said, pieces could be anywhere in this house. Because of where I put it, the pieces could be absolutely anywhere. And I'm okay with that because the puzzle basically, like I said, this puzzle have taught me so many life lessons and so many different things. So I'm hoping that you guys enjoy watching this video and pulling these out. And I'm also hoping that you guys will go out and get a puzzle. Now, mind you, if you're like me and you're not a puzzle person, don't go for the 1,000 puzzle. Go for the 500 or the 300 or even the 250. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys today about the puzzle. And I'm hoping you guys enjoyed it. I know I wasn't on Tuesday at 10 for Living Out Loud, but I wanted to share this whole puzzle thing because I think it's a lot of fun. So definitely get yourself a puzzle and get it done. And I will see you guys back again when this puzzle is all done, just to show it to you. So I'm going to show you guys a little bit of the puzzle. Boom. There we go. So as you can see, it's a pretty big puzzle and trust me, it's a lot of fun. I've enjoyed this puzzle a lot. So I will see you guys next time. Bye.